I was, what they call like part of the legacy market, the illegal market, however you want to put it. I was one of those guys who was, going to jail, getting arrested all the time when I was 14, 15 years old over this. So like my dedication level is real, and I felt like I was able to see through the fog even as a youngster. You know what I mean? Like people thought, a guy that sold weed back in 1994, 95, he was a drug dealer. And in my eyes, a drug dealer was a guy who sold crack cocaine and heroin and all that stuff. Like I just didn't see it
Absolutely.
that way.
All right, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to the show. I'm here with Salvatore. He's currently located in Chicago, Illinois, and he's here to talk to us about what his company, Fox River Gardens, is all about. Salvatore, you go ahead and take it from here.
Hey, thanks, buddy. Thanks for having me on the show. Welcome everybody, all the new followers and everything like that. We're about an hour and a half north of Chicago, more towards the Illinois-Wisconsin border, but close enough. And what I am briefly is just I'm a social equity candidate. I was arrested and affected by all the cannabis laws and rules, over these past decades. And so in Illinois, they put together a social equity applications for the cannabis industry, which, in Illinois, if you're not familiar with the news, we had some pretty major failures with the rollout of it, as far as people gaming the system and stuff like that, and the true social equity applicants like myself not really being able to get their foot in the door.
Right,
Some of
right,
us,
right.
I feel, have already gave up, but a lot of us haven't. We're still pushing really, really hard towards that. So, um, that's kind of the gist of it. We are 100% social equity owned. I take mad pride in that, because a lot of these people who are social equity companies, they had to give up a lot of equity just to even apply, and we did a lot of that
I imagine
ourselves.
that it requires a lot
So
of capital up front and a lot of risk versus reward, not really being, in the upfront. You know, I imagine it's a lot
yeah,
of
yeah, it
sacrifice right
does.
now. It's a lot of sacrifice. So that being said, Salvatore, okay, so you're an OG, for lack of a better word. You are an OG. You've been in the game since they were calling you guys drug dealers, and that's not what you were. You were just trying to put something out there that really, it's a medicine. Let's just clarify with that. It's a medicine,
Yeah,
and you're well more versed than I am in this, but I think that it's a medicine, and I think that someone like you can really provide that back end information that a lot of people just don't really understand. People want to be legitimate. Some places are. I'm in California. It's completely legitimate, completely legalized for lack of. It's legalized here. But for you guys, it's not yet. It's a little different, and you're out there pulling moves, and you're making moves, and you're just doing things that a lot of people talk about wanting to do, and you're doing it, man, and it's real inspirational.
yeah. To be honest, like through all the years and everything like that, they always talked about the one percenters. Well, there's one percenters on the people of like the riches of the world, and there's also the one percenters of the guys that survive the game. You know, uh, every single one of my friends have been, even myself included, I've been to jail. I haven't had long sentences. I have never stepped foot in a prison, thank God. But a lot of my friends have, and honestly, like to this day, I fight for them to be able to incorporate them back into my business where they would never have a chance. Being a felon, being arrested for drugs, serving prison time, it just ruins people's lives. And for me, one of the biggest things is to incorporate these people back into something that they are so well versed about. And I say this a lot, is too bad when I was young growing up, uh, with my belief in cannabis, it made me a criminal. And too bad it didn't make me an entrepreneur, because you know where I would be at the age of 40, from 14 years old, if I was considered an entrepreneur, I'd be so far
Right.
ahead of the game, it would make sense.
And that's the real unfortunate part, because I bet there's a lot of people that had a lot they were cooking up and just putting together even back then that it never came to fruition because of this, because of the restrictions and all that other stuff on the back end.
Yeah, yep. And I've been there. I've been on probation multiple times. I've been in jail, juvie jail, adult jail. I had government seizures happen. I mean, I've experienced just about every level of the prohibition on cannabis. And it's just really unfortunate, because like in my in my family, my grandfather was in 1929, he was killed over the prohibition of alcohol, in Rockford, Illinois, where I'm at right now. And I just see these, like they say, history repeats itself. Look at, here I am, you know, uh, we're still fighting the fight for this prohibitions on many levels, and I say it all the time too, to together, together we win, and when we get separated, we all fail. It's just facts. I don't care what anybody says.
Nobody can
We
do it on
band,
their own.
yeah, when we band together, like when the COVID happened here in Illinois and everything like that, the restaurant businesses and everything, man, they were just going down the drain
Down the
quick.
tubes, right?
Yeah. And the cannabis industry came together so strong. I mean, I'm talking like
Uh,
attorneys, politicians, everybody just joined up, and we fought and we sued the state, and for our purposes of making them release the licenses and stuff like that, because every month we get an executive order and why our license were being held up. These licenses were supposed to be released last year, May and June, and we still, none of the license have been released yet. I mean, so we're pushing, and we're getting some progress now, because we finally got our deficiency notices here in Illinois, which is you hand in your application, and then they give they grade it, and then they kind of give you a little recourse to fix any deficiencies you had, to try to up your score and actually be able to get into the lottery. Because here in Illinois, it's such a high demand. Nobody really just wins a license. You win a lottery ball to be in the lottery to win a license.
Oh, so you just got to get picked like a lotto, just like the rotating thing with the number, just to even get the opportunities. Is it structured, or is it kind of like that where they're just kind of money balling it, and whoever gets that coupon ticket, that ticket, is the Willy Wonka, the golden one?
Yeah, just for instance, a cannabis group just came in Illinois. I don't like naming names or nothing like that, so I really don't be name dropping too much, But a company came in Illinois. They just bought 4 dispensaries for $60 million. That's $15 million a dispensary. I mean, that's big money.
Are they
You know?
taking over like something? Well, I guess there's not a. I guess because out here a lot of trap shops. I mean, that's how I knew them as, but like illegitimate shops sort of legitimized themselves and just sort of transitioned. And I guess it's not the same out there because you don't even have stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I know how California, I forget the statistics on it, but the numbers were like, it was a really low number of the actual licensed dispensaries compared to the illegitimate ones out in California. And here in
Yeah.
Illinois, I mean, it's pretty much, Illinois is probably the highest regulated uh, cannabis uh, system in America right now. As far as their application process, it is
Really?
grueling, man. It's nothing like anything anywhere else. It's nothing like this. I mean, our applications, when they were done, they were between, some people's were in between a 300 to 1,000 pages.
Wow. So you
Yeah,
gotta, just to get through that is brutal, man. That sounds like a nightmare just to even get through that application.
yeah. Our
Just that.
our cannabis laws, the rules and laws and emergency acts are, I bet you they're pushing. Yeah, they're probably pushing over 1,000 pages just for the rules, laws, and regulations. So
Now, what do you
it's
think? Why are we just, we don't want to welcome it? Why is Chicago? You guys got good pizza, Lou Molinati's with that butter crust. You guys do it right out there. You know what I mean? Like, you're doing good stuff there. So why do you think they're waiting on it? Do you think they're just watching from an outside perspective? What do you think?
No, honestly, it's my opinion is this, just my opinion is that we have some of the biggest multi-state operators. Don't mean that it's a bad thing. There's really good multi-state operators out there that are high quality groups. But we have some of the top 5 multi-state operators in our state, and they push for a few things as far as, they got some really good lobbyists, I mean, they when we went for adult use and we legalized recreational, they didn't want licenses released for 18 months because they said that they didn't make their money back yet, when they had, it was like almost 4 years of just pounding the pavement,
It's probably
and now
that. Go ahead. You go ahead.
yeah, and now we still don't have the licenses released, and here we are. So it would have been May of last year, so we're coming up on 12 months. I mean, we're really getting close to that 18 months that they were lobbying for in the beginning, and they control it. Like, their lobby is so strong that they really control our market. And now maybe a lot of people might not be familiar with Illinois, but like, we're the one state that does have a lot of governors that went to prison, so There's a lot of corruption and stuff that happens in Illinois, and they're trying to weed through that, because like there's this movement out there. It's called mongoose, and in the whole theory in that is that grass attracts.
Mongoose. It's called mongoose.
Yeah, yeah, and the whole theory in that is that grass attracts snakes. You know,
Say that
like
again. Can you cut off a little bit? What is it?
it's the whole mongoose theory in it. Behind it is that grass attracts snakes.
Grass attracts snakes. Huh.
Yeah. I mean, some of this stuff you can't even make up. It has to like just play itself out for it to even happen, but like literally, the mongoose, man, they attack the snakes in the grass, man. They tear them up, throw them around, expose them, but the more that we have a high regulated system and not a real open capitalistic market, we're going to get this kind of stuff, like Oklahoma. You don't see none of these top 5, even probably top 10 cannabis companies. They ain't in Oklahoma. Why not? Because they can't compete. They can only compete in highly regulated areas,
Interesting. They're probably
they can't compete against a whole bunch of small guys. It's just impossible. They can compete when they're selling, $65 eighths, well,
right.
there's only like in Illinois. Yeah, in Illinois right now, we have 110 dispensaries for 13 million people. That's
well, they
insane.
can't keep it up. That they can't keep that stuff on the shelves, probably.
Yeah, and I think Denver, Colorado has 175.
Say that number again. What's that number? 113 dispensaries, and there's 100. How many millions of people?
13. Like, well, we're almost 14 million people in Illinois.
Why are they doing that? Now let me ask you this: why are they doing that?
Well, because like right now we have 21 cultivation centers, right?
Yeah,
they're banking, man. Only 21 cultivation centers making for all the product in Illinois.
That's what it sounds like. They just want to keep the pie. They just want to keep all the pie for themselves.
Oh, big time. These are the companies, they can go and buy, they buy licenses and operations, for $200+ million at a time. They're making money.
They're making the money. They're making the money. Give me 1 second, Salvatore. All right, Sal. All right, man, we're cool. So we're just, man, you saying that is just insane to think, and I'll tell you, the crazy thing is the black market shops that I was going to back at home years ago, they were saying we got people with more money than we can even ever conceive of buying us out. You have guys who are running these black market shops, just dudes who are like, yeah, the shop opens at 9, and you get there and I'm out there 40 minutes late, and the guy's like, man, I was up, you know what I mean? Like, it was very low key. And then they said, you know what, man, I can't even do this anymore. I have billionaires in suits saying we're either going to take you out, or you're going to join forces, and in reality, they're going to take them out anyways. I feel like you said, those snakes, they come and it's a dog eat dog world, unfortunately. And if we don't get a hold of this thing, the cannabis industry might get taken over by the big chickens, the big heads, it might have already been, but you already know, man. You know this.
Yeah, and this is started with the boots on the ground, grassroots movement. This is, and like I'm that guy. I am the boots on the ground guy, and I'm competing against bankers, real estate holding companies. I mean, like, you name it. All these professional guys who have great educations, as far as going to great colleges and schools, and being around just amazing corporations that have just taught them things that it would take us years to learn on our own. And it's what I'm saying is that, like, when you're a small guy and you're really trying to get into this industry, especially in a super competitive market, like seems like most states are becoming, to just play that way, is if you kind of don't join a group of people, I think your chances really start dwindling down. Like, for me, it's just me, my investor, I worked with a couple attorneys. I worked with one consultant to help me write some stuff, but everything else I've done on my own. And
Really?
I take pride in that, even though I didn't write perfect applications and stuff like that. That don't matter to me because I know that every time I make my next move, I'm just getting better and better and better, and eventually I'm just gonna iron it out. So I'm not so
Absolutely.
much worried about having to join these big groups and yeah, you because being a social equity in Illinois, it really gives you a thumbs up. Like
Right, right.
like it gives you a huge play part, like with these applications, say like with the cultivation craft grow, it's 1,000 points. If you're social equity, you get 200 points of the 1,000. I mean, it helps. But in Illinois, you can also buy your social equity. So if I hire 10 people and I pay them a salary, your minimum wage salary, and they qualify as social equity or live in proportionate areas and this and that, I can gain my social equity points that way, which not it's not really fair in my eyes. And in Illinois also, these companies out here, if you try to ever get into a really regulated application state like Illinois, these places, they'll want $100,000 to write an application for a dispensary.
Up
Well,
front.
like I know, that's not social equity. If you can afford $100,000 social equity or a $100,000 application, you're not social equity.
No, absolutely not. You're on the other side.
Yeah,
Well,
big time.
well. Let me ask you this: so, what keeps you there in Chicago? What keeps you in the hometown in that area? And because it sounds like you're going through the grueling process, man, where it could be a lot easier for you somewhere else. You're doing it because you want to do it in Chicago. You want to be a pioneer in this area, and in this is home for you. You want to build from the ground up.
Yeah, exactly. See, with us, we're actually want to be the first ones in Illinois that have a craft grow and a dispensary under the same roof. That's our
Interesting.
main goal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Could you break that down a little
Yeah.
bit? Like, walk me through that.
Yeah.
How did this?
Yeah. So basically, it just comes down to like, you know, I mean, like with the craft grow, for instance, you start small. They only allow you to start with 5,000 square foot of flower canopy.
Five
And the
thousand
max
square
you can
feet.
have is and the max you can have is 15,000. And then the real cultivation centers, they're up to like 240,000 square foot of flower.
Wow.
So like, yeah, like for instance, the 40 licenses that they're releasing for the craft grow, you times that times 5,000, that's 200 square feet or 200,000 square feet. Sorry. So we're not even competing with all 40 licenses. We're still not even competing against one cultivation center. And then, so like for us though, that's okay because we know, like, and I know the craft grown is always better than the high end, big commercial, corporate stuff anyways, everybody likes
Absolutely.
craft stuff. So, we're fine
Absolutely.
with that. Yeah. So then, like having the knowledge and, with the whole cultivation and, I love genetics and all that, it's just, I like having the best of the best,
That's what. Well, let's
um,
get into that. What does it take to get the best of the best when it comes to those? That pretty flower, that flower right there, that medicine. What does it take to make it right? Make it do it right. How about a guy? He says, "I got a couple of seeds. I grow it in the bag. It's the best stuff you've ever had." What differentiates that from a guy who says, "You know what? We're gonna really move forward with this." Just so you could break it down for the audience. If they're
yeah.
like listening to you and they said, "Man, this guy's really doing it," and you know,
Yeah,
I got see,
like
I
one of
got
the main things. Yeah, one of the main things is just like for one, figuring out your process. Like now you got your seeds. What do you want to do with it? Are you just trying to do a one-time deal with it? Are you actually trying to like make something of it as far as create a mother plant and get hundreds of clones off this thing? And then you know what's the level of you know uh I guess like the level of growing you're trying to do. You're just trying to do a little medical at your house, or are you really trying to like, do some science projects, I mean, it all kind of just, that all that stuff matters. But like
starts
just for
off as
the
a little
average,
science project at first, right? For some people, it's just a science
oh
project.
yeah. Oh, it is. And I'll tell you one thing is it's one of those things, the harder you make it, the harder it is. If
The
you
harder
want
you
to
make it,
play
the
mad
harder it is.
scientist, yeah, you want to play mad scientist, you'll have you'll be over here mixing 15 different nutrients and, you know,
You might get nowhere though, right? You might just start putting ketchup in the cereal and whatnot, right?
yeah,
Or what do you
yeah.
think?
And
Is that you can really get creative with it?
yeah, well, the best thing about it is I'll tell everyone this is if you are going to do any kind of cultivation and you are taking it serious, get a notebook, get all your nutrient meters, all your ppm meters, all your pH meters, get all your meters that you're going to need, and start documenting as you go. And you'll realize really quickly, as soon as you do a couple different strains, you'll realize that, wow, that strain cannot handle that dose, or that strain does not like that low pH. I mean, you'll like, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, you do it a few times, you actually have a little Bible for yourself that will tell you the different strains you have going on,
Mm,
what's the pHs that they like, don't like. I
the
mean,
Bible, the
and then the
Bible. There you
soils,
go.
you just, yeah, yeah, just keep track of everything, your medium, whether you're using a rock wool, you're going to use soil or live soil, like right now, the big thing that everyone's going around is the live soil, the organic soil, with all the micros and everything in it. And a lot of it, they say, just pretty much add your pH water, man, and let it rip, get your lights on there, get the cycle going. But I've used it
Begin.
all, and I haven't used a live soil yet that I can say I haven't added any nutrients to. But I like to run mine a little tough. I like to kind of put them to the max and see what they can do before they crash and burn. And then I get a better line with it as far as what they can actually handle.
You know the rules, so you could break them. You have that ability. You've got those skills, man. All right, man. Well, so coming up next after our commercial break, we're going to talk a little bit about how you even got into this whole, we're going to get a little more in detail, man.
Yeah.
Hey, man, Salvatore, you got a lot to say, man. You got a lot of golden materials, and it's wild to see you do your thing, and it's really inspirational. A lot of people are afraid of doing this stuff. There's a big, there's still that preconceived visual on people who are in this business, and just to get a thumbs up or a green light, man, can you walk me through how many times you've had a no or just somebody dismiss the idea, even though it's probably, you know, it's really good. You guys could really benefit from something that's really good. And walk me through that, man. How many people have been just like,
Yeah. I mean, so I'll tell you how I how I came across it, to be honest with you. Like, cannabis was me my whole life. And then I was feeling a little lost in life, and I just was like, I was just done. I just didn't want to keep doing the way I was going about it and everything like that. So I did a lot of meditation, praying, uh, stuff like that. And honestly, I felt like I got downloaded one day and was like, this is what you got to do. This is how you got to do it. And this is when you have to do it. And I just
during a
started.
meditation?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so was meditation something that you had integrated into your lifestyle, habits, or was it something that you got into when you were in this rut and you said, I'm gonna just meditate a little more than usual? Are you a natural meditator? Do you meditate normally? And where you were like, and walk me through that. Were you getting into meditation in this rut? And then,
No, it's just like I've always meditated and prayed. I was born Catholic. I went to Catholic school. So it doesn't matter to me whether you want to call it the universe, God, Allah, whatever it is to you. It's all the same thing. It's an energy force that we're all trying to capture. It doesn't really matter how you want to phrase it. But um, so I think when all of us get in trouble sometimes, that's when we do the most praying, we do the most meditating. When we're kind of feeling at our worst point. You know, and so that's not always bad though. Because like they say, even a dim light in a dark room shines bright. So um, for me, I was just having a typical day. I went and lit the candle by my father's picture who passed away. May he rest in peace. Um,
Mhm.
and I was just in my normal meditation and my thoughts. And then it was literally like, it was just downloaded in me and said, this is what you're going to dedicate the rest of your life to. and I was okay with that. It just made sense to me. I felt like all these years I was on the legacy side, it only made sense to take it to the next level. And so from that day forward, I had so many pitfalls and stuff already throughout life that I understood that, sometimes when you speak too soon, people will close your own dreams for you, or you will stand in front of your own self. You won't allow yourself to move forward, you know? So I actually kept working on my project really, really hard every day. I didn't care if it was Sunday. I didn't care if it was one Google search, but every day I worked on my project. And I didn't talk about it to no one for 6 months. You know why? Because when they wanted to say something or have a question, I wanted to be able to answer it or defend myself, you know?
So pet,
So
yeah,
then that day,
absolutely.
yeah. And then that day forward, I had a lot of crazy things happen during my process. I mean, I helped the city that I'm applying to. I literally helped them walk through the Illinois cannabis laws and rules and regulations. I took my folder over there that's 600 pages of Illinois laws, all tabbed out for them, nice and neat. Check it out. You have any questions, just find the tab and search.
Mm.
So I went through this big process with the city, and then, come to find out, I mean, the city administrator, I was competing against him. He went behind everybody's
Oh
back and,
man.
and got on the application and stuff. He lost his job and everything over it. He got exposed. But like I
Right,
had
right,
no
right, right.
idea that this guy who was sitting in this city council meeting was telling me, what's the chances you're gonna win? And I'm like thinking, why is he coming down on me? Well, obviously I
Competition.
was in competition with him and didn't even know. Yep. Um, just the other day, literally 2 days ago, one of my friends texted me and said, "Hey, man, I don't think that business is for you." And I said, "Well, why this and that and the other?" And he said, "Well, you shouldn't hang all your laundry on one clothesline." And I said, "Oh, I can see that. I can agree with that. But this is my passion. This is what I want to do." So even when your best friends, your parents, your girlfriends, the city administrators, state. I mean, uh, uh, I talked to mayors, state representatives, senators. They all have different opinions about this, and like they say, it sounds cliche, but like everybody has an opinion, right? I mean, and it's just
Everybody
what it is.
does.
Yeah, but for how many I bet you. Well, I am this guy though. I've always been okay with hearing 20 no's to get my one yes. So that don't bother me at all.
But
And I
that comes
and I
natural to you.
literally, yeah, I had 20 no's for every yes on this for sure, 100%.
20
And
no's
then
before every yes.
oh, definitely, definitely. I mean, and then everybody is, when you're trying to put your project together, everybody's in. Everybody wants to enjoy it, and then you start as you progress, you'll realize that some people just need to do their own project, or some people really don't fit your project, and that's okay. You don't want to lose friends over just starting a business, but I mean, it can happen. It's just reality
Sometimes
because
you don't
as
want
you
friends in the
grow,
business. You don't want to do business
yeah,
with friends because there's just a little more. There's something in the back end that's taking place that you don't want to have to deal with. When you're running a business, you got to run a business. When you're cultivating a friendship, you cultivate a friendship. But I guess everybody's
yeah,
friendship dynamic is different, right? Some people like to have wings and pizza with their friends, and others start businesses. And
yeah, yeah, you're damn right. And a lot of my friends, they are the entrepreneurial spirit type people. Um, my whole thing is like this. If you're doing the same thing you did last year, more than likely we probably don't talk too much, to be honest. If you're in the same, if I come and I see you and you're talking the same thing in the same spot, I have a hard time with that, and one of the biggest things that I really try not to do in life is criticize anybody, because when you criticize someone, that causes resentment, and it'll come full circle back around, and so like
Absolutely.
as I was going through the process, hearing all these no's, like honestly, like I heard a lot of criticism. I heard that, because basically I put up everything except for my house. I mean, like literally every dollar I get to this day, every come up I have, I spend my money.
You're
Like I
putting it
spend,
on the
and it's
line.
not, yeah, and it's not $500 at a time. I just got a bill 2 days ago for $6,800. From an attorney helping me. Yeah, I mean, it's not
That's
cheap.
people hearing that stuff just so they know, that you're not just some guy who started a page and talking all the you're
Oh no,
you're in the trenches, you're dealing with it, and you're taking it up front in the face, and you're not afraid to say, hey, this is what we got to do to make it happen. And you know what? Big respects to you, man, for that one, because a lot of people are
I
too afraid to
appreciate
make
that.
moves, and you making those moves.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You know, because like one of the biggest problems I've seen is nobody wants to start at the start line with you. So what I mean by that is no one wants to put any money up on a maybe. But
Hmm.
when you're right about to cross that finish line, you'll have investors around the block. Everybody wants to cross the finish line with you, you know? So like me
Oh,
right now, with just with the Illinois that I have going on, I'm about $40,000 in with Illinois applications.
wow.
I'm in about right now. I'm about uh, uh, maybe about 3,500 in my Michigan application, and I'll probably spend another like 3,500 or 4 grand to cap that off there. And that's with an attorney who picked me up, has helped me out tremendously pro bono. I mean, this guy is. I wish I could just name drop him and like but like this dude is like when I had my meditation. I'll get back to that. When I had that download happen, see, this guy somehow when he came across me, something told him, help him, get a hold of him, and literally he sent me a message and said, "Here's my phone number. Give me a call on Tuesday." I call him up to come to find out he's like one of the top 10 best cannabis corporate cannabis attorneys in America. You
Small
know?
world, man. That's insane. He found
Yeah.
you and he reached out like that. That's God, man. That's a nice.
Yep. And he's one of
Well,
the yeah, he's one of the there's like I think there was about seven attorneys that wrote perfect applications for Illinois, and he was one of
wow, wow, man. So
them. And
you
he
got
reached out
people.
to me. Yeah.
That shows that the
Yeah.
moves you're
And
making is
he was
creating an
Godson.
impact.
Yeah,
God
you
sent
gotta,
you.
you have to create the wave, man. If someone's gonna surf with you, you gotta create the wave, man. You know, no one's gonna create the wave for you, that's for sure. I promise you that. No one's ever gonna show up at your doorstep, knock on your door and say, hey man, I got this best opportunity for you. You ain't even gonna believe it. All you have to do is this. It's not gonna happen. You know, you
Now
have to find it deep down inside, you know.
deep
It's just
down
like,
inside.
even with what you do, you're creating your channels, you got your episodes, you're gaining knowledge, you're reaching out to people like me. I'm reaching out to people like you. The small little interview here that we're doing, this creates waves, man. And when
Mm-hmm.
people can hop on this, they can grab their surfboard and just hop on the wave and just ride the wave knowledge, man. That it's free. It's free. And I'll tell everybody right now, if you want to make more money than you could ever count in your life, I'm talking more money than Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Zuckerberg. I'll tell you the secret. It's really simple. It's really simple. Make something for free, offer it for free to the world, right? And better mankind. And you'll have more money than you ever have in your entire life. And I'll give you
Mm.
a simple example. Facebook. What's it cost you? Nothing. It's free. He's paying to store your pictures, your 1,000 fucking pictures.
Hmm.
He's paying every month to store that shit for you, you
Really,
know?
man? What's he doing with our girlfriend's photos, man, on the internet? What's he or with our man? Ah, shit.
But someone has to store the data. It has to be in a server. It's being stored. Facebook runs off storage and data. But he's offered it to us for free. It
Right.
don't
When you're not,
cost us nothing to use Facebook, and it
I,
betters mankind. Why is he so rich? For that reason right there.
right. I like that you say it betters mankind. You hear a lot of this bad stuff about social media and all this stuff, but hey, man, you know what? But it's like they say, when you don't know what the product is, you probably are the product. So we are the product. We might not know what we're giving up quite yet. We might have a little
Yep.
bit of an idea. We might not even care to an extent. I think we should, but I think we don't really know. Maybe it's, who knows, man. Maybe it's like Area 51. We know it's there, but we just don't really want to make our way out there and get shot by the laser beams. So,
Like,
man.
yeah, and that's the one thing is it's just like with any industry that starts getting highly regulated and stuff like that. Guess what? There's signs up that says "Do not trespass." It's the cannabis industry. It's the technology industry. It's all the industries. Every single one of these industries, and the cannabis is new. But trust me, if you look close enough, there's already fence being built. There's already signs posted. I mean, it is literally trying to keep us out. Us really boots on the ground, grassroots legacy people. It's slowly trying to push us out. I mean, if you read any cannabis headline news, almost every cigarette company's trying to get involved. I mean,
Oh
it's
yeah,
just a matter
I've
of
heard that
time.
one. I've heard that
Yeah,
one, man.
it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, man. And you know what? At the end of the day, though, the interesting part is it's such a big, thriving thing. It's such a big, big pot of gold that there's a lot of stuff taking place that people don't even know. Like I heard a story the other day that some guy had a shop in West Hollywood near Fairfax, and he got approached by like the mafia in the area, and they said, "You know what, man? We kind of run this area, so we like that you got a shop. We hear you're selling now. We hear you're doing good. We're just here to take our cut. You know what I mean? Like we're just." And he's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "We just need a little cut. You know what I mean? We look out for the area. You need anything, we look out for you, but we're gonna need a little percentage because this is our spot." And he said, I gave it to him because what am I supposed to? This is their block. They were here before me. So street taxes is what they called it. He said, you got to pay those street taxes.
Yeah.
So you're
Yeah, I
paying
mean,
those you're paying the
yeah,
street
and that's
taxes, exact same thing. You see all these things coming in, those are street taxes. That is not just like me. That is not an idea, man. Those are street taxes you're paying, brother.
yes, and I was just about to say that just because that group got approached by a street mafia doesn't mean that we don't have mafia in the government and everything else. You know, I mean,
You
the
got the
amount of
same
money they
thing,
raked
man.
in on all of us putting in these applications. Yeah, 100%, bro. 100%. You know,
Yep.
I'm not a fool to my surroundings. You know, I try to, walk the line to, I'm not big on offending anybody or anything like that, but if it's needs exposed and it's pretty, like right in everyone's face, I don't have a problem doing that. That's for sure. But as far as dragging anyone through the dirt or anything like that,
Right.
I'm not really with that. But, like the one thing that everyone does have to realize is that it doesn't matter. I swear to God, it don't matter what industry you're in. Get into the bar industry, and I guarantee you, it's feathers. Any industry that you start stepping on someone else's toes, and nobody likes their toe stepped on. I don't care who you are. And then, especially
No,
in the cannabis industry, being something so new, man, we got the big players are here. It's the NFL now, man. I mean,
it's
it's
the
not.
NFL.
Yeah, we're not playing football in your neighbor's yard no more. I mean, you really need to get your team together. You need a head coach. You need an offense coach, defense coach, special teams.
Hmm. The whole thing, man. You got, yeah,
Yeah,
they even got the cheerleaders, man. They even got everything.
yeah,
They got the whole thing.
yes,
You
yes,
said it, Sal.
yes.
Well, listen, Sal, man, I could go on all day with you talking about this, man. Listen, we're gonna get you
We
back on the show, brother. We got to get you back on.
hell yeah, hell yeah. And
It's
I
it.
knew we would vibe. I knew we would vibe. I watched your show with the guys from Minnesota, and I was just like, yeah, he's definitely my people. Like I know
Hey,
we could
man.
we could talk for 3 hours.
Hey, likewise, bro. Likewise. I really appreciate it, and I can now call you my friend, and we'll get you back on here, man.
Hell
It's been a
yeah.
great pleasure.
Hell yeah. I appreciate you reaching out. And I know that like once I get this through my LinkedIn, put it on my YouTube channel, put it on get my Instagram. I mean, you know, I'm just appreciative that you gave me the platform to create another wave. I swear to God, that's the main thing because I want people to contact us and say, man, thanks for that interview. Great interview, everything, because this is a movement that we're really trying to focus on is that if we lose the boots on the ground and the grassroots movement, we are going to lose the industry. I just want everybody to know that, like 100%. Like, and if you can't take on the team by yourself, do the next best thing, get a team.
Get a team. All right,
Yes.
Sal. Hey, man, listen, this has been an absolute pleasure, brother. We're going to get you back on
Yes.
the show, man. Sal, can you shout out your company, man, one more time? Let's get the name of the company on the social media.
Yeah, we're the company here for the cultivations Fox River Gardens. Our dispensary names that we're trying to tag all over the United States eventually is Sambuca, Sambuca. And that's pretty much the I can't really say the product line that I want to go with yet. We don't have all that the trademark and everything like that done yet. So I
We'll
can't
get you
really.
back on. This is going
Yeah,
to
that's
be to
right.
be continued. All right,
Yes,
Salvatore.
sir.
Everybody. This is Salvatore. It's been a great pleasure, brother. You got a lot of info and a lot of wisdom, and this is going to make a lot of waves, like you said. We're going to make a lot of waves with this, brother. We're going to get
Yes,
you
sir.
back on, man. It's been a great pleasure, Sal.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
All right, man.
Take care.
All right, brother.
Okay.
Sounds good, man. So we're good. We're good from here. And I didn't mean to cut it
Okay.
short, but we're getting again. We got a lot of interviews today, and I didn't want to cut it short
Yeah.
with you, but I want to just keep chopping it up. So we'll get you back on, man. We'll get you back
Yeah,
on.
sounds good, brother. Hell yeah.
Cool,
I'm
cool,
down.
man. All right, bro. Sounds good, Sal.
Appreciate it, man.
Absolute, absolute pleasure, man. Cool. This is gonna be
Yeah.
a great episode, man. Cool. All right, take care,
Hell
brother.
yeah.
It's
I
been a
can't wait to
great
see
pleasure.
it.
Absolutely, man.
Thanks, brother.
Cool, brother.
Peace.